Welcome to Graham Kerr's Kitchen. It's really two programs in one. This is a series that appeals to your creative side. Food that is sumptuous stuff. How could that be? This is a program about people who want to eat healthy and reduce calories. Actually, it's about food with an aromatic quality that fills the nose. Oh, sure. But it's also about keeping my arteries clean by reducing fat. But it doesn't mean a thing if the food isn't rich and colorful. Maximize the flavor. Okay, but I must have healthy food that I can cook in minutes. I must minimize the risk. So welcome to Graham Kerr's Kitchen, where we get our heads together just for you. Well, I am absolutely thrilled that you're with us today because for a very good reason, I love a challenge. And if there's any kind of challenge that I feel as both a father and a granddad now, it's young people. Now, Diane Moss, who actually responded to our sending out, you know what we do, don't you, by now? We sent out a big food preference list to over 10,000 people, got back a whole bunch of people, including Diane, who said that she had a real problem. One of her problems was Trevor and Tam Lynn. Now, they're never a real problem. They're just divine children, but hey, buddy. But Trevor, Kuzmi, the cooking guy, Trevor, I understand that you really rip into macaroni cheese out of the carton. You really enjoy it? I see. And you've been trying this little thing that we've been putting together as an alternative. And you have your various grave opinions about it. Well, we'll get into that a little bit later, and Tamlin as well. Okay, well, what the whole purpose of this is, you see that Diane has been losing weight recently. Diane, congratulations. You've lost 50 pounds this year. I think that's fabulous. Combination of what we do on this program and Weight Watchers and their portion control. And that's a very good combination of ideas, by the way. But what you want to do is have low fat for your children, and your husband, Bob, comes from a diabetic family background, and you want to watch him and the sugar. You've been cutting back in sugar for the children and everything else. I think all of that's just terrific stuff. But we want to be able to see whether we can produce an alternative to the package of macaroni cheese. And that's what we're going to have a go at today. Now, in order to give me some help in what you like, I saw that you like Greek food and Indian and Thai. That's a very interesting compression of ideas. Broiling and casseroling. You love pasta and sauces and creamy sauces as well. So obviously, you know, that fits with the macaroni cheese. Cayenne pepper, and that gave me a bit of a clue as to you, if not to the children. Chicken and rhubarb, well, they're both smooth tastes. It's all smooth. Salad greens, but potatoes and carrots can cook smooth as well. And then strained yogurt. And I thought, I think I've got Diane's number. And so we put the dish together and sent it to you, and it's really radical, isn't it? Come through, show you how it's done. As a matter of fact, this is one of those occasions upon which every single known saucepan that I own is laid out in front of you. I mean, you know, Trina normally says when she sees something like this, I hope you're doing the washing up, son of a gun, you know. So this is a dish which we're going to be using so many things because I just want to show you the stages at which it goes. But first of all, let's just deal with the Minimax stage. Now, we're going to springboard on the idea, which is basic concept, of a creamy sauce, not made with cream, not made with fat, but made with vegetables. And here are some of the vegetables that you can do it with. And Diane tried this one, but this is with butter beans, and it had tended to be a little bit sort of gritty. It's got a gritty flavor to it. But you bake an onion. It's lovely and smooth. You whiz up some fresh green peas, and they're lovely, but you have to sieve them afterwards. It's got a little shell on the outside which doesn't whiz up well. This thing is rather like one of these, I'm going to shoot down the invaders, you know, sort of the antioxidants. Here comes a free radical, that kind of thing. Well, anyway, that's just a small butternut squash. Carrots are very good from this point of view, somewhat watery. This is beautiful. Parsnip really works well. And the king of all, from several different reasons, is the sweet potato, and that's the one I'm going to use today. See, what happens is when you have actually steamed these, you fry them first to develop a little bit of sugar, and the sugar browns just a touch. You see how that's brown? Then you put it through one of those food processors, and it becomes beautiful and smooth, like the best sauce you've ever seen, really thick. And to that you can add a little turmeric for color to bring out the yellowness in it, or you can use saffron, which is brings out yellowness and also gives a nice flavor. There's curry powder you can add, or hot Hungarian paprika, or you can put some chili powder in it as well. And of course, just a little bit of grated cheese and good Parmesan cheese. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But anyway, it is extremely good from a spring-boiling point of view. It just gives you so many options. It's a wonderful, delirious sauce and can be used instead of cheese in the macaroni, I think, to a great effect. Okay, ready for this? Let's see now what's on the menu.
Today on Graham Kerr's Kitchen, macaroni cheese. Pasta cooked in a roasted sweet potato and saffron sauce with sugared mint peas.
Okay, Diane and Tamlin and Trevor, of course, here we go. Let's do it. First of all, I think that the most important thing is to get together the pasta and get that on the go, because that takes about 11 minutes. I always put together, and this little elbow macaroni here, shapes mean a lot to some children, by the way. They really do love the odd little shapes, especially the dinosaur shapes nowadays. I'm not sure I like that. Anyway, I prefer the plumber's fittings type. And so this is 2 ounces per head. And quite a lot when you look at it. Water boiling vigorously. Rain the pasta in and make sure that it's stirred off the bottom and nice and loose. A little bit of salt in there, about 1/8 of a teaspoonful of salt. That goes into there. And this is boiling as well. Might as well start them off at the same time. I've opened the whole package. I'm actually cooking from the package. This is the classic that, Trevor, that you love to eat. All right. Now here, these are little shells. I'm sure that you enjoy the shells probably. You read the packet instructions and you'll find 11 minutes and ho, you don't save a penny, just a minute on this one. They're both exactly the same. I always stir it around and then put a lid on the top and wait for them to come back to the boil there. When they come back to the boil, then I time it from that point and it's exactly 11 minutes and it's fine. Okay. Now, let's have a look at the sweet potato. I said this is the king of all roots, and I think it's fabulous. Now, I know that Trevor and Tamlin, I suppose, would agree, have been brought up not to like sweet stuff too much because of their dad. And I understand that too, but they're a little different because the average little fellow is quite into a sweet tooth. So what you do, you just simply peel the top off that one, and then, in this case, cut it into about 1/2-inch thick pieces. It rather depends on the size of the pan that you've got, because you've got a pan on the heat here. A nice large pan, you can cut them quite thin. If you've got a smaller pan, then quite thick. You'll see the reason why. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's exactly a teaspoonful of oil. That's a mixture of olive oil and just a touch of sesame there, smoking hot. And we'll just drop those down into there. I want to be able to develop, you see, in this pan, a sugary glaze to it. Now, it's the natural sugars in the vegetable. I'm not going to add any sugar to that, but I want it to brown so as to give that kind of caramelized flavor to it. It's got, instead of just being plain yucky sweet, it's kind of got a bittery kind of twist on it like this. Marvelous. It's like roasted vegetables. They come up beautifully. So all you do is just simply with a couple of spoons, just turn them in the pan like that, and they'll start picking up color straight away. Don't burn them, but just make sure that they're doing okay. All right, turn that down to moderate heat. And this is what they look like. Hey, my goodness. This is exactly what they look like when they're done. And to that, you would add some freshly ground white pepper. It's amazing the difference, you know, with freshly ground spices, how much nicer they are. And immediately you can smell it coming off the pan. Okay. Now, when they've had about 15 minutes and are really soft, so you've got frying here and then steaming on top here, about 15 minutes of time. Now, Diane, what you wanted to save the oil that I put here, the teaspoonful of oil, and convert it into cheese. You are a sneaky one. And it's a good idea, by the way. And so you did that, and you baked the potatoes in the oven. Now, that's good, but I don't think you can get the same caramelizing effect. Caramel doesn't take place until you get to over 300 degrees Fahrenheit. And I don't think it would happen in quite the same way in the oven as it does here. So you'll lose some of that exquisite kind of, any way I can describe it to you, that sort of bitterness. Now, this is the top of one of these. Oh, I see that the water's boiling, so I'll take the top off there. And, oh yes, just a big thing, you know, sorry. Just want to hang on, do your seatbelt up. Right, the moment that you take the lid off, this has a twofold reason for doing this. Even though when I put this in, I reined it in and stirred it around, it still sunk to the bottom and started to stick. Now, if you actually put the lid on, and the moment that it comes to the boil, then when you take the lid off, give it a good stir around, you will never have it stick. It's just a fantastic idea. All right, now this fits down. I love machines. There, I think I got it right for once. And I've got a pound. You see, it's a pound of peeled weight after you've taken the skin off the outside of the vegetable. And I'm going to put a 14-ounce can of non-fat evaporated skim milk into there. And then, gee, you have no idea. This is skill when I can do that. All right, and then put it in. And all that's going to happen now, that's just going to whiz up in order to make it a very fine, thin, fluffy sauce. Really great sauce. Okay, good. Let me just look at that for a moment. It is a great looking color, that. It's really fantastic. All right, now, to fix this up as a sauce, just open that up, and it has the most fantastic looking quality to it. And I'm going to add some cheese to that, but I want to just go over what the cheese is that I'm going to add. And I think I need a pen here to be able to jot something down for you. Okay. Now, this is a typical processed cheese, which is 75% fat content. All right? So that's the first one. And the second one is a cheddar, which is 74% fat content. Okay, 74. And the third one is it's really a great surprise, okay? That's 59%, and this is the Parmesan. This is the Parmesan cheese, all right, at 59%. Now, looking at those, which one would you choose? Well, this is very much drier than those, and that's probably one of the reasons why it works out that way, but it is a lower fat cheese, the Parmesan. By the way, the Parmesan that I've got here is the American Parmesan, local, and this one is the imported Parmigiano Reggiano, which is a fabulous cheese, but this one is $13 a pound, and this one's $7 a pound. So, you know, you've got to pick up which one you can afford and feel that you can do. The local one is also grated, but it's exactly the same price as the solid one, and of the two, I much prefer the solid, be able to work with. Okay, so having dealt with that, let's have a look and see how much goes in. We've got 8 tablespoonfuls. I won't keep on doing it, but this, my loves, if you don't mind if I refer to, hello, I don't mind if I refer to as love, do you? I mean, it's just something over the years. Well, anyway, God, if you don't like that, Charles, I understand. But look, it's just like that. Don't do it like this. That is not a tablespoon, all right? That is 2 tablespoons full, or even 3. So the total has been weighed up ahead of time, so it's 8 tablespoonfuls. And with that, and this is for adults only, there's a ½ teaspoonful of pepper flakes put into there. Now, you'll feel it. And Trevor didn't really like it, or Tamlin, because that was a bit too strong for them. But for adults, it's terrific. Now, this funny little packet here is just about 1/16 of a teaspoonful of saffron. And that's for flavor, and it really makes a difference. About 1/8 of a teaspoonful of salt. Be careful here, because Parmesan, whilst it is lower in fat, is higher in sodium, considerably so. Again, it's dry. And then I think this is a ½ teaspoonful, if I remember right, of English-style mustard, which is something that I really want you to try. It's a really fascinating flavor. And you can mix it with milk normally and then serve it as a mustard within about a quarter of an hour of having mixed it up. It thickens itself. It's really fascinating stuff. This is one is in the recipe, and 2 is if you find it too sweet. 2 tablespoons full of lemon juice. That's to compensate for that sweet sort of feeling that you get, especially so from the sweetness of those sweet potatoes. Okay, so whiz it up together, and that will combine in almost no time at all. Now, literally, you can count to 10, and that should do it. I mean, it's just as simple as that. It's a very simple, it looks terrific. Okay. Now, you remember how we had these on the go here? Look how brown they've become, that lovely caramel look. Those get stuck onto the top. You remember how they went before onto the steamer? And then that on the lid, and then, you know, those cook for about 15, 20 minutes, and they become ready. Okay, now let's take this one. This is the packaged one, and just stir that up there, and just shake those out until you don't want it too, it says drain well, and having drained well, then you put that back on the top to drain there. Now, I've got a small saucepan on the heat, and need to build that fire up underneath there until nice and hot. And then in the bottom there, simple, such a simple idea, just a couple of pieces of mint and a tablespoonful of brown sugar. Oh, really, couldn't be much better than that. And 2 cups of peas which have been thawed, and that's all. Now, I mean, literally, it's just like that. Just drop those in on the top, put the lid on the top, and it will come up to the boil, and that's all that it takes. Just have a fresh, minty, slightly sweet taste to it. All right, so what happens for these fellas here? Let's bring them up. Now, this is, I understand, a bit skillful. What you do, and do you know, in my whole life, I've never done this until this afternoon when I was just rehearsing this, and I did this for the very first time in my life. And I thought, well, this is fun. It must be rather like toothpaste, like in the old days. And so you just roll it up underneath like this so that it all comes out nicely. There has to be a technical way of being able to get this stuff out of it. Wrap it up and put it into a brown paper bag and hide it somewhere. Oh, gosh, something went crack. Oh, well, seems to be all right. Everything seems to be working. So I'll just bring that temperature down a bit there. And now, stir in the sauce. Now, I don't overdo the stirring in at the beginning. It seems to me that you have to sort of just fold it over, otherwise you'll break the pasta in it. But that's it, literally, that's how you make that dish. Now let's see how you make this one. Give this a quick stir, and then here, just pour off some of the surplus water off the top, and then pour it into a colander, like that. Right? And we don't need the saucepan anymore, because we're actually going to use it in this dish. Just shake that up together and pour out most of that water. Then you can just keep that in the top for the folding of the sauce. Now, the sauce can be put into a saucepan and heated up. It depends how hot it was when you were actually having it going. I've got the sauce ready here. That's done. The peas are almost ready. And now for the pasta. Now, all you do is, because this is a nice hot dish and hot pasta, is just drop that into the pan like that, and then take the sauce and drop it in. Look at that. Look at the way that folds in. And it's almost exactly the same color, you know. Just stir it all around together. Do be sure that the pasta is not waterlogged. It's got to be well drained and very hot. And the pasta, everything should be timed so that the pasta is perfectly al dente, right, which means to suit the tooth just nicely. Right? Good. All right, I think we're just about ready to go. Let's see how the peas are doing. Almost to the boil. These are doing well and nice and hot. Now we can serve it up. I've got 2 dishes in the oven here. Now, on the package, it says a cup measure. And somewhere here, I've got a cup. Here we go. So I'm going to just dollop out a cup measure of the one from the package. See what that looks like. This is solid cup measure, slightly brimful. Turn it up there. There's one serving. And then we'll take another serving of this one here and shake that down a bit. By the way, I've got a considerable amount more here. I've got enough for seconds as well in the comparison between the two. See how it holds up a little bit more than the other? This has got beta-carotene in it, of course. instead of fat. You know, nice statement. And 1 tablespoonful of cheese over the top, and a little sprinkling of parsley over the top of that, and just a touch of paprika over the top of the whole thing. Smells good. You see, you've got the smell of the cheese coming up over the top at the same time. Now that encounters the diner, who says to themselves, I want to eat my cheese. This is macaroni and cheese. So when you dangle your proboscis, which is a nice way of saying your nose, over the top of the dish, you smell that fabulous smell of the cheese coming up. And Trevor, I know you don't like the peas on it, dear lad, but you know, when you grow up a little bit more, you'll just love peas. I know. You ready? Okay, let's go through and taste the difference. Come on. You know, it's so interesting. I'm so heavy-handed with peas. This afternoon when we were trying this out, you know, Suzanne, my senior food associate, said to me, no kid should have to eat that amount of peas. I must have seen. I understand. Okay, well, this is the way you like it, Trevor, devoid of anything else but just the macaroni and cheese. And this is the way that it's going to be like it is for you later on in life. Okay, let's have a look and see what it looks like. 531 is the package calories. This is 383, and I've also got an extra 1 cup of the mix that I haven't analyzed. So it shows you those for seconds without any thought. Okay, fat from 20 goes down to 7, saturated goes down to 4, 34% whistles all the way down to 17%, which is jolly good. Cholesterol gets down to 18. Sodium, look at that, 1421. That's really high, and it really tastes salty. I can see why some people get addicted to it in the carton, because it is so salty, really. That's the moment, let me tell you. I'm sorry, gentlemen who put that together. It's a bit much. It's rather like going for a swim in the sea. I'm sorry to speak well of my own dish, but oh, no. It's got that zip of that, I know that's not for children, but that zip is there with the pepper flakes, and it's just lovely, good, marvelous springboarding dish. Okay, have a go. Don't forget, springboard. Okay, well, once again, let's go to the deep freeze and get out the most wonderful. I just love the way this happened. If you get the large size gripper bag, or whatever it's called, and you stick it in, you get a very thin sauce. You see how thin that sauce is? And looks like a washboard. You can play it, you know, cool music. But what you do is you just simply open up the zipper and break off a piece, just however size you like, exhaust the air from it, and again put it back. Don't forget to label it, say what it is. Make sure that there's a piece of paper in the deep freeze which tells you what you've got on the menu as potential. Just don't throw things in the back and then wonder what on earth it is. All right. Now, let's say that you've defrosted the whole lot of that, and you blanched some nice-looking broccoli, and put that down one side of the dish, and then a handful of obviously white broccoli, cauliflower on that side, and then just reverse yourself. Just put the broccoli on the top there, and the cauliflower on the top over here. All right. So basically, as you could say, well, why doesn't he just mix it all up? I don't know. It just is. I just love to make things difficult, apparently. No. Good. And just a little sprinkling of pepper flakes over the top. I love the pepper flakes so much in that dish. I just want a bit more, unless there are children around. I mean, really, they are a bit of a surprise. And then take this. You know those wonderful commercials where they've got that cheese oozing backs and forwards, and doesn't it sort of say to you, oh, you know, reminds you of your childhood, but you can't have it now? Well, you can have this now, no trouble at all. Then take this I made without the cheese in the beginning, and I'm going to put 3 tablespoons full of cheese now on the top. I've reserved the full effect of the cheese to be on the surface. Now, this could be simply served as a vegetable dish, or as a vegetable-only entree. Now stick that into the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees centigrade, and somewhere I've got a towel. Ho! Ho! I can smell it. It's that lovely, cheesy, crusty smell that you can look what that looks like. Dust that with a little bit of parsley over the top like that. It's amazing, you know, what happens when you actually do a dish like this and you put some of the Hungarian paprika on the top. A portion, there you are, a quarter of the portion, and then you can dive into it. You've got the vegetable. Gosh, that's nice. Okay, do try it, won't you? God bless. Now, oh, Tamlin, I know you're going to be perfect, darling. But Trevor, just a moment, old lad. Peas, look. Imagine them dropping from heaven. Wonderful gift to all of us. Eat up your peas, there's a good lad. And wash up.